Hello, welcome to this video where today I'll be giving my backstory for the Thomas the Friends character known as Lady. I haven't really seen other people do this in the fandom, but I feel like there is a realistic story for Lady that could be told, so I'll be doing that. So, Lady's story, that I have it. I would have her be a workshop built engine by Burnett Stone and his wife Tasha. In real life, workshops built their own engines, so the same applies here. So Burnett Stone and Tasha Stone, they owned a workshop called Stone Workshops, was put which was placed, I would say, probably about Wales. They had a contract with the Great Western Railway where they would build engines for the Great Western Railway. However, the workshop, they didn't really have a designated shunter at their workshop. So Burnett Stone, he designed a small tank engine to do shunting at their workshop, and so they built Lady. And I think Lady's Victorian style looks similar to the Furnace Railway engine, so in lore, Burnett Stone got inspired by the engines of the Furnace Railway, and so he put that into Lady. He gave her the full name of Lady Victoria based on the Victorian style of Lady's design, and obviously named after Queen Victoria as well. So, as the years went by, Lady would do shunting at the workshop, and when the big four railways became British railways, Stoneworks, it was a decently sized workshop, but nothing to the level of like Swindon. So British Railways, they decided they didn't need Stoneworks anymore, and so Stoneworks, they it closed down because Burnett and Tasha, they realized they were getting up there in age and didn't have money to really buy railway lines and be their own preservation railway. So they got in touch with Sir Topham Hatt. They sold Lady to Sir Topham Hatt, and so when the tank engine was brought to Brendam on a ship, Sir Topham was a little bit surprised by the regal-esque livery that Lady had, and that's when Burnett and Tasha told Sir Topham about the inspiration for Lady, and which caused him to chuckle. And Sir Topham said that she would work well on the Brendam branch line, which has Edward, a obviously former Furness Railway engine. So Edward showed Lady around. Lady also met Boko. The two of them told her about Bill and Ben, how they like to pull tricks, and Lady just, smiled at that, you know. And so the next day, when Lady went to go help with the clay pits, the twins were surprised when she arrived by her appearance. They thought that, because of her appearance, because of her name, they thought that she was a stuck-up engine. So they were a little bit standoffish by this new tank engine in the clay pits. Lady figured out why they were doing this, and so she explained her history to Bill and Ben as she was shunting trucks. Getting clay dust all over herself, not really caring about her appearance, showing that she didn't care about her appearance. The twins, they were sorry, when Lady told them about herself, and and it was dumb of them to assume that she was stuck up. And when they heard that she was just a simple yard shunter, and her name was just her name, Lady, said to the two of them, if they would like to give her a nickname that's less regal, they could. So the twins, they came up with the name Tori, which is, as Ben would put it, more cute than grand, and it fits Lady's, small size. And, so Lady, she liked it, and the three, they carried on the rest of the day with, no trouble. They finished the job, and so Lady slash Tori would be used as a utility engine over the years on the Northwestern Railway. Whenever a yard needed a shunter or another branch line needed another engine, the little 040 would be called upon, and she would go to assist wherever she was asked to. She's often sent to the Farquhar branch line to assist Mavis there at the quarry. Obviously she met Thomas, Percy, and Toby, and she became friends with them. And even though Lady doesn't pull passenger trains all that much, she still has both her lamps and which is obviously the express head code, and that makes Gordon jealous. And Lady knows this, and so she teases him about it. And it's not really that big of a problem on the Northwestern Railway because there's only one engine taking the express, and that's Gordon. And so the signalmen, even at night, are able to tell the difference between Gordon and Lady because, well, their size is a lot different. And so that is my little backstory for Lady. I think she could work in a realistic setting, and so um, there you go. There you guys go. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and let me know what you think.